is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Dental Student Vibes podcast. I'm Seth Kalish. I'm here today with Anthony Wallish, and it has been a while talking to you guys. It's been maybe a month or so, and you know what we've been doing. What we've been doing, Anthony?
We've been studying, guys.
We've been grinding. Absolutely grinding. We apologize that we haven't been, as active, but, priorities, school comes first. So, but thank you guys for listening. Thank you for your support. And thanks for still tuning in here today. So, we did miss December 1st. That's a huge day for those that are applying this cycle. You find out your decision day, right? Mm-hmm. The first decision day.
Yeah, it's one of those days of the year for every dentist that they remember, whether they've already gone through it or they're anticipating getting that letter from the school that they want. So it's an exciting time. It's congrats to everyone who's got that acceptance and is going to be enrolled in 2020. It's been a few years for me and you as well. It's very nostalgic, getting that acceptance. So only good things to come, and it's just the beginning of the goal ahead.
When you were doing your admissions process, did you have like a December 1st admissions? Is that when you found out?
I had to submit my application in like mid-November, but I always kind of knew as long as I kept my grades that I was okay.
Because you did the early admissions.
Yeah, I had a specific situation, but...
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's great. That's like the most exciting thing ever, I've been grinding so hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
When on December 1st, I remember you're checking it. First of all, you're checking at midnight.
Yeah,
but that's not. You gotta think. There's somebody at a computer somewhere that's releasing the decisions.
Yeah, It's not like on November 30th that person is just waiting to press the enter button at 11:59. Like they don't wait till the next morning or something usually.
Yeah, and I just remember like I was a dental assistant at the time, and I was waiting, and like I kept refreshing the mail on my phone, and it wasn't until like, I don't know, 9 a.m. because I started work at 7, so I was like freaking out, but we did it. So good times, and congrats to all you guys that got a decision and are going to dental school. Very excited.
Absolutely. It's just a step in the right direction. And even to the listeners out there who haven't applied yet or maybe have not got the letter that they wanted, don't be discouraged. Just keep grinding. There's always next cycle, and it's one of those things where if you want it, you go chase it and you go achieve it. So just keep working.
That's right. And so the next decision day is, I believe, January 1st.
Okay.
Right. So you do 2 of them. And then I know for a lot of schools after January 1st, it's kind of just rolling admissions.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see in our book that we came out with, 7 hacks to boost your dental school application, which is available on Amazon. It's in the link below. You can see, what steps you need to take. If you haven't gotten a decision yet, what exactly you need to do to contact the school, just sort of get in touch with them, see where you stand, and then try and move your application forwards. Because, you just might be in limbo. You might have like a couple people ahead of you in the stack of applications,
of course,
but you might be like right there.
Mm-hmm.
So and then another thing, one of the things that I did during the application process, I reached out to some of those other schools that I didn't hear from yet, and I told them, hey, what's going on? And they want to know, like, oh, sort of, what's your update? Have you been doing anything in particular? And I tell them, oh, I became a dental assistant, blah blah blah. But then I also told them that I got into school on December 1st. I got into this school, and they're like, oh, really? And then they call me back a couple days later, and they're like, congratulations, you're accepted. Because they kind of, it's competitive. They're like, oh, well, this person's getting into this school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want them to come to our school then.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just kind of like a hack for the whole application process.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you want to give yourself that competitive edge any way possible, and it is a cutthroat situation because they're getting thousands of applications, and each class is only going to be 100, maybe 200 people if you go to a big school, maybe sometimes smaller. So it's a numbers game, and any way that you can give yourself a leg up, absolutely take it.
The winning edge. So Anthony, what are some things that our friends that just got into school, what are some things that they need to work on, some things they need to get completed before they start dental school?
Well, I think the most important thing is if there's any part of your application that isn't filled out, which it should be, whether it's just like you're missing a couple hours shadowing or whatever, like get that done. I think the most important thing also, and this was for me, myself, is if you're getting this acceptance letter, chances are you're a senior or maybe later in your undergraduate career, just don't fall into that senioritis trap. You got to keep grinding. They're going to keep checking your grades to make sure that you finish all 8 semesters, or if you're doing a master's, like you got to just finish strong and run through the finish line. Don't jog as you approach that. So I think that's the most important thing. And then just keep getting yourself involved in the field. One of the things that I think that if I could go back and change about before I entered dental school was I would start looking at certain classes, whether it be anatomy or biochemistry, and just getting myself caught up and just familiarized with the material, so that when I get into the school and I start, grinding, at full speed, because it's kind of like 0 to 100 when you go in.
Yeah.
You remember that? It was just like they threw
Especially,
everything at us.
Right, anatomy. That's really like one of the big ones, because everybody starts with anatomy like right away.
Exactly.
And then that's always full force, because they're just like, these incoming students need to learn anatomy, get that out of the way, so we're going to focus on everything else.
You're not going to start with the drill in your hand day one. They basically put you through a certain series of classes to make sure that you could handle everything before they start letting you do the fun stuff. So it's not a bad thing to go into it cold turkey, kind of like most students probably do, but if you could give yourself a little bit of a leg up just by studying certain material, getting yourself familiarized, it definitely will help you in the long run with managing your time and just doing better on exams.
Right. Let's see what else. So how about the students that they're accepted now, right? Mm-hmm. What do they need to do? Like, okay, so I guess one of the big things, you got to decide, because a lot of the applications, they only, or the, what do you call it? Like decisions, the admission offers, they're only good for 30 days.
Yes.
Because you have to like put the deposit down and all that stuff. I put a deposit down on one school, I think, oh man, I think it might have been like, it was either $500 or it was $2,000.
Big difference.
I can't remember which one it was. I think there might have been 2 deposits. The first was $500, the second was $2,000. But I lost that deposit because, I was like, that the first school that I got into, I was like, okay, I'm going to secure this and, make sure that I don't lose that. But I ended up going to a different school. So you just got to make a decision. And the most important thing is, $500, $1,000. Yeah, I mean, we already spent that on the application, right? What is that in the long run if you miss your acceptance? Like if you wait too long and then somebody else takes your spot. So I mean, it doesn't matter. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. It's in the grand scheme of things. At the end of the day, that money's probably not going to mean too much to you. At the time, it might, but the amount of money you're going to be putting into yourself over the next 5-10 years between schooling and then when you're actually out practicing, it's going to be a fraction of what you actually are spending. And to those people who do have 30 days to decide on multiple schools, you're in a good situation to have multiple options. Most people, when they go into professional school, whether it be medical, dental, whatever, they get in, they go. That's kind of like the mindset. But if you have the availability to go to more than one school, you need to basically prioritize your time on putting yourself in that situation where you could look at yourself forward for the next 4 years. Where do you want to live? What schooling do you think would be better for your advancement in education? Where do you think you would enjoy spending your free time there?
Right.
There's so many factors that you have to bring into it. Is it near a big city? Is it in the middle of nowhere? These are the things that you need to start pros and cons weighing out, because it's not just the next 4 years of your life. It's a fork in the road, honestly. It's going to basically determine how the rest of your life is going to come out. So if you have that situation, good for you. You're lucky. Most people don't have that, but you got to make a very, very important life decision within the next, 4 weeks after that acceptance.
It's 30 days usually.
Yeah, so just take that time. Don't rush it. I wouldn't say submit your application December 31st, but take your time. Talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, your friends, and basically make a decision for yourself no matter what.
Right. And speaking of that, I do know one person that submitted their application I don't know when the last day to submit is. Is it December 31st?
It's probably, yeah.
Whatever the last day, they submitted on the last day, and they got in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it, but if you've got a good application, but, you got to know kind of where you stand and if you need more to add more to your application. Let's see what else. So, okay, let's say you chose your school and you know what you want to do. What are some things that you need to do when you're planning on going to the school? So, like, let's say you moved from New York to Florida. So what were some of the things that you were thinking about?
Well, I think the things that everyone seems to forget about is the basic living situation. You need to get yourself, because I didn't bring my mattress from New York all the way down I-95. You have to think about basic essentials for living, stuff to shower, stuff to get food. You need to get utensils, you need to get silverware, you need to get bowls, you need to get all that stuff. You need to get the basic living essentials out of the way. And it sounds so simple, but it's actually quite tedious and quite exhausting, because that's basically what I did the first 2 or 3 days when I moved down here.
He says get new bowls because he's on a oatmeal diet where he just on the oatmeal grind.
Oatmeal's a great carb. It's low glycemic. It's gluten free, so it's good for the people who have gluten allergies. So that's always good. But yeah,
yeah. So
that's very important.
I think one of the good things a lot of schools do is they make the Facebook group for the incoming students. I think we got to make one for the new class soon.
That would definitely have to be done. Yeah.
It's going to be in like 2 months, probably in February.
So that's another thing. You need to start figuring out your living situation. Who are you going to live with? Where are you going to live? I mean, I went from, again, across the country, over 1,000 miles, not knowing anyone. I knew one person that I was going to school with. Shout out to Vika. But, Seth and I worked out because he happened to message me. And the rooming situation with our third roommate, George, has worked out, I think, swimmingly, no problem.
Swimmingly.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
Like a school of fish.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Anthony drove that whole 1,000 miles. I can't believe he did that.
It was terrible. I don't recommend doing that ride.
I remember
everyone does it. Apparently.
You were saying that like you were driving and then you did you hit a log or something?
Oh no, dude!
Right at the beginning,
dude. I was in Jersey. It was like 2 a.m. max. It was late at night. Foggy, pitch black out, and there was a deer laid across the side of the road, or in the middle of the road. I was in the left lane, so from like the shoulder to the dash lines that bring you into like the center lane, like there was a deer just like from line to line. Like it maybe didn't take up like 3 inches of the whole lane, and I saw it with like less than half mile, quarter mile. Like I saw it super quick because it was pitch black out, foggy, and I just was going like 80, and I had to go over it without hitting it. And my dad, who was in the car with me, I've never seen him so scared in his life.
Oh my!
Like if I would have hit that deer, we probably would have flipped, and I don't know. We made it down here, so I don't recommend that drive. You might have random deer laying on the side of the road or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations again to all you guys who just got accepted. For everyone who is still waiting, you got one more decision day coming up soon. And for those who don't find out on that day either, do not give up, because there's usually rolling admissions from many schools and you still can get into dental school. So until the next episode, until next time, good talking to y'all. Anthony?
Keep grinding, guys. It's going to be worth it. See you later.
See ya. And don't forget, hit us up on Instagram at dental.student.vibes, on Twitter at DSV Podcast, and keep on vibing.